Okay, I've had a couple of people struggling with templates versus DWGs. So let's say you have your title block all set up the way you like it, and you've got your layers set up. Another thing to make sure you have are your units. If you type in units to the command, this will let you change between inches and feet. If you open up the SI units, there's actually different sizes of paper. Like it's not 8.5 by 11 anymore. It's a different dimensions of the pieces of paper they have in other parts of the world. So anyways, yeah, you might want to set one of these up for inches and maybe a different one up if you want to have your have everything in centimeters or even millimeters. Okay, so maybe I'll save this title block with a different unit scale. So I'm going to say OK. And to save this as a different template, I'm going to say save as, and instead of a drawing, I'm saving it as a template. Now this is putting it in a really crazy file location, but if you leave it buried in all of these folders, it will show up under your start menu. You might want to save it two different places. Save it where AutoCAD wants to save it, and then save it somewhere else up where you can very easily get to it. But I'll leave this one right where AutoCAD's templates are, just so it'll show up in the start menu. And I'm going to make sure to give this a name that I can easily identify it. So I'm going to say centimeters title block. Okay, so this is, the units are set up in centimeters, and I have it set up with a title block in my layers. Okay, so I'll go ahead and save this. And this is standard title block with units set to centimeters. That means when I type in 1 or 3, that would be 3 centimeters. Okay, save all layers. Okay, now that I have that saved, I can go ahead and exit out of this, and I'll come over to my start drawing, and it will show up in here. So I had this as centimeters title block. So there is the file path and also the little description that I gave to it. It is good to fill in a description. So if I open this up, it opens up a new drawing, but that new drawing has everything set up that I had set up. So like if I look at the units to see what's going on here, they're still set to centimeters, but my pages are set up for printing here in the US, and I've got layers set up. And now if I go and I start drawing something, right? So I'm just going to draw some regular. If I now want to save this as a drawing, so I'm going to come over here and save as. Rather than just save, I like to go to save as, and this will let me really keep track of where I'm going to save it to. So I don't want a template anymore. I'm going to come up and maybe save it in my documents and make sure that I've got the folder correct and the file name. For the file name, choose something that you can organize all your files. You'll have a lot of files for this. So whether you use the date or the chapter and exercise, but pick some descriptive file name and organize your folders so that you can you can easily find it again. So this is DWG is the drawing. And when you save this thing, so I'll just say test save, you should actually get two files, a drawing and a backup. So if I add a few more things to this, and then there's a little save button up here. So then I can go ahead and exit out of this. And if I want to find it again, all of your recent documents should kind of be showing up over here. Or I can say open files. And if you remember where I saved it to, so there's my test save. And then maybe if I look underneath my documents, just to see what's happening there, I should have a backup file too. So let me see if I can find. Sorry, I've got a lot of stuff saved in here. Okay, so here's my DWG files, and here is my BAK files. So the BAK, what these guys do is you can actually take these and rename them to a DWG. So if your DWG crashes, if the program crashes and it wasn't saved, you just take one of these guys and you click on it, rename it DWG, and that is kind of the previous save. So you have a couple of copies of it because, yeah, AutoCAD crashes enough that it's going to be worth it to they make that BAK file for you. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. So you can come up here, save as either a template file that you can open under the starter disk, or you can save as a DWG. It also has some export features. So there's some PDF exports. That's pretty generic. For 3D printing, you can come over here and send to a 3D print service, and it'll make an STL file. For import, you can try out the import. I've had luck with two-dimensional sketches. It's a little bit hard. CNC uses like G-code, and there's a few open source programs that will try and convert from one file type to another. But for AutoCAD, the file types are DWG for drawings, DWT for templates, and BAK, those are your backup files. Okay, hope that was helpful.